Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on your time zone, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the first official part of Miitopia Nuzlocke, aka the Meatlock. So this is basically just a bunch of clips of the first bosses of Greenhorn, as well as some other random moments I thought I should mention. Anyways, on with the clips. Okay, the first clip I needed to mention, the first thing in the chronological order of this video is the butterfly fight. Now going into this fight, I had the same team as I left off the last fight with, which is the chef, me, and the warrior, Nick. So, anyways, I'm basically at the same amount of stats as I left off. So I just unlocked the cooking skill, home cooking, which I immediately used to heal up, because I feel like if I don't, I'll be dead. And I made the correct decision, as this thing attacked me 4 times! I have never seen this boss do that. Either the speed stat is good, or it just did that to slap me in the face. Or, I don't really know, but I don't care. I'm immediately in a state of, So, I got the sprinkles, finally, and I used most of them, like pretty much anyone does during their first time doing this boss. But after that, this was fairly easy. I just completely went ham as this thing basically died in a couple hits. This was an absolute massacre. Alright, so, this next clip is playing at 4 times speed right now, and because this is my third party member. Now, this clip, after a bit of contemplation, I decided on making a Popstar, as it is the last of the more tanky green jobs you have access to in Greenhorn. So I decided to make it a what used to be female Popstar, but it's now just the outfit Popstar, as I'm going to be calling that the outfit Popstar, which is more of the which used to be known as the female Popstar, but they removed it, yet they still made Princess a female locked class. Why did they do that? That's kind of random. And I couldn't really find a mouth, so I decided just to make my own. After a bit of name contemplation, I decided to name them Stefana. No, I thought that would be a cute little name. Anyways, I originally thought of Airheaded, but I eventually went with Energetic, which I just thought energetic. And after selecting the room, I had to do their wig and makeup. So I settle on the hairstyle and the bangs, make it pink and cute, and then settle to making it a mouth. So this took me a little bit of time to make it not creepy, be looking at first glance without making the mouth way too big. I eventually just settled for using these 2 semicircles, which took me a little while to get set up, because I had to use a square as well, because I also had to use a square, which took me a couple tries, which didn't really take me that long, which I eventually settled on this. I then realized I messed something up with the mouth, and moved it down to actually get a reasonable hair design, and then add some blush to make it a little bit more cute, like, and then added another box to make it to add some teeth, which at first I found kind of creepy, but then I got used to it pretty quickly, which overall, I think I did a pretty good job on this me. Also, the Great Stage happened, and I did this. Moving swiftly on. Okay, so this clip I just kind of found hilarious to me, but it could also be kind of scary and kind of scary for this playthrough when you think about it, because this clip nearly caused 2 deaths. Yeah, I encountered a Snurf, and at this stage of the game, these things are terrifying. As you can see, it only 2-shot Stefana. Oh no, and although Stefana is like level 2 at this time, they're still a bulkier job than most. That's kind of scary. So I immediately start trying, I realize I have to kill this thing or else I'm gonna waste the outing ticket. So I decide to fight it. Not the smartest move, but it really didn't matter that much. It worked out anyway. A bunch of, like, I had to, like, nearly use all my sprinkles at the start of the fight, so that wasn't good. And then I immediately however, I am doing some solid damage. I can do solid damage, however, this thing is still annoying. Also, I picked laid back as my personality. I think it's the best personality in the game overall. For, like, my playstyle anyways. I use a lot of, like, abilities in my runs, so, in my playthroughs, so, like, this, laid back is a really good personality for me. So, anyways, this was a scarier fight. However, I did end up prevailing, which is the important matter. After that chain of events, we move on to the last me for a little bit, for a while. See, in the early game of Miitopia, you only get 4 Miis, so I might as well move on to what I made this Mii. This Mii has a little bit of a history on my Miitopia playthroughs. This Mii is based off a Mii on my 3DS console named Phoenix Ash, which is a Mii I got from the Street Pass Mii Plaza. Yeah, I used that. How many people use that? I don't really know. Anyways, I got this Mii, put it on my Mii Maker because I liked it, and I liked the Mii. I thought it was really good designed, and then decided to use it in my first ever Miitopia playthrough as the Great Sage. My reasoning is because the Great Sage's clothes in this Mii's clothing was both light blue, so I decided to fit. So I really wanted to use this Mii for something on this playthrough because I used it basically for nothing on my initial Miitopia Switch playthrough. So I ended up deciding on making this Mii a party member, and while I was making the Mii, I was like contemplating what class I should make it before eventually settling on Mage. Now I don't know why I picked Mage because I needed a little bit more damage on my party. Alrighty. Also, I didn't call them Phoenix, I should just call them Ash, because to make things shorter. And I needed a mage. So I made a mage. I made Ash the mage, and it was pretty good. And then we had a whole dinner party scene, and everything was really great. And hopefully they don't die. A couple levels in both the literal and progression sense later, we arrive at the next boss fight, the rock fight. This was scary, as this fight could easily party wipe me, especially considering my average party level at the time was level 3, with Ash being especially underleveled. As you can see, I fudged up. Throughout this fight, I abused a technique I discovered by myself that I'm not sure if anyone else has done it, called safe swapping. Where essentially what it is that you put a Mii into a safe spot and take them out exactly on their turn. This way they don't waste their turn. However, they still do they still get to do damage, and you could just put them back in a safe spot. This requires a lot of timing to do. However, it can basically render a Mii invincible if done right. And that's what I aim to do here. As I did not think this technique through too well, as I was rusty with it, especially on the Switch version. It's way harder to do on the Switch version because the safe spot's harder to access. As you can see, I just fudged up the timing. And knowing that the Rockster was coming up soon, I just wanted to wait for it to go. I thought it moved twice. It moved 3 times, and then Stefano was almost dead. Nick's almost dead. And then I thought, okay, it's turn's over now, right? So I take out Ash, and then another turn happens. Stefano's almost dead, and I'm just like, oh, shinks, I gotta heal them. So I luckily ended up doing a really powerful heal for my character at that point, 40 HP, with the Get Seriously back card. So, and then I used sprinkles to heal up Nick, and unfortunately lose all of them. And then I attempt to do and then I go back to attempting to safe swap. I know for a fact I go back to attempting to safe swap. I fudge up the timing again, but thankfully But thankfully, we were able to kill it by this point, so I didn't need to do it again. This was one of the scariest fights so far. Keeping to the theme of boss fights, I next headed for the mouse fight. I figured I'd get the two of the more difficult ones out of the way first. Actually, to be fair, all of these are difficult in these runs because I'm being more cautious than usual here. Anyways, this fight, I thought was going to be a really bad one, especially considering my gear was slightly better, but not good enough. Now, this time there are no cumuluses that can heal the boss, or then I decided I'm just gonna go straight for the killing of the boss. So I also attempt to do the same swapping technique again because this thing does a lot of damage. Does a lot of damage. That wasn't a good demonstration. However, it does do a surprising amount of damage. I moved them out after the mouse went, and literally, I just see, I almost killed it in that one, and it only had one chance to move. And I think, oh, it probably will get another chance. It just got slack off. Goth, which means I do less damage. Wrong, it killed it. Wrong, it died, and we're moving. And I was just like, oh, well, this went way easier than I thought. So, after a bit of safe spot kerfuffling, after taking Nick out of the safe spot again because he was bursting out with laughter, and that's a status condition, and that's bad, I just had to kill the remaining small shrooms, which these things are normal enemies. They're fairly easy. This fight turned out to be way easier than I thought, and I'm honestly completely relieved at that. Okay, originally I didn't plan to include this clip here because I was just going to skip straight to the end fight and just say, I got through River Deep Cavern with no deaths and arrived at the end fight. But I figured I shouldn't do that because someone would probably accuse me of cheating because, yeah, just to prove a point that it was not easy to get through here. This was this was probably the point I thought I was going to lose somebody here because this is the easier part and it two-shots my warrior, and it nearly two-shots my warrior. So yeah, yeah, at this point, this fight was fairly simple, but I needed to show it just to show how rough this fight getting through River Deep Cavern was in general. Yeah, I was probably not, if I was under-leveled slightly or wasn't being careful, I probably would have lost this fight. Thankfully, I wasn't playing on auto battle and wasn't running with speed ups, except I sort of was using the speed up function. Though I tried using the safe spot for once. Yet I realized. However, I read the speed stats beforehand, so Stefano went before then, and then I put them in the safe spot. But by then, River Deep Cavern was fairly rough, actually, so I'm not lying when I say I probably would have lost a member if I wasn't that careful. After nearly losing party members multiple times to River Deep Cavern's monsters due to having to play that level twice in a row, we face up to Dark Lord Chronicle and also have to fight the Imp boss. The Imp boss is a problem. It's one of the hardest bosses in Greenhorn. It's the second hardest boss in Greenhorn, actually, because there's one harder one later that I'm also dreading. So, yeah, there's a lot of enemies here, but they're just jellies, so I can safely ignore them. There's no asterisk here. I actually did just ignore them. After I fudged up a safe swap again, and also concern happened, but it did literally nothing in this fight. I thought it would do something for Christ's sake, I thought it would do something. Anyhow, so my strategy is fairly simple. Burn the Imp! Yeah, I'm just gonna go full in on the Imp. I need to kill this thing as soon as possible. Flambe spam time. Yeah, this thing nearly does half my health. This thing does half my health and will probably do half the health of pretty much every single one of my party members. Honestly, at least all of my party members. God, this was a nightmare. Yeah, also Ash learned lightning at this point, which was probably a really good move at this point. It's allowed me to kill 2 birds with 1 stone and also kill the jelly at this point. So I used some sprinkles and nearly used all of them at once. God, can I just mention I hate having low sprinkle counts? Pretty much the rest of this fight is just me earning, either attempting to kill this imp or the imp nearly getting close to a 2-shotting on pretty much any of my party members. Also, at this point, I actually started getting save swaps correctly. I actually started timing my save swaps correctly. So I actually managed to get them correctly, except in this circumstance, which nearly killed Nick. Yeah, we nearly lost. I think you get the point at this point. We nearly lost a lot of party members to this. So I'm just gonna stop this commentary and just let the fight speak for itself. Alright, that's all of the notable clips I had to show. So that's the end of this video. If you like this style, let me know in the comments, and also let me know in the comments if you like the video in general, because it helps with the algorithm. Also like, because that also helps the algorithm, and if you like my content, subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.